Here in the Main Street Cinema, it shows 6 classic black and white Mickey Mouse shorts. All of them have the same soundtrack, the calliope that's playing at the back of the theater, except for one has its own soundtrack. Find out which one that is and why it matters to you when you have to learn to focus on what's most important. I'm Randy Crane, author of Faith in the Magic Kingdom, here at the Magic Kingdom, in fact, to tell you about this and to ask you to please help me bring this book to you and to the other possible readers.
Millions of people visit annually, many making return trips throughout the year. But few see the park as Randy Crane does. In Faith in the Magic Kingdom, Randy once again takes us on an inspiring and dynamic tour of the happiest place on earth in a way only he could, by showing us that valuable lessons of faith and magical examples of God's wonders can be found at Disneyland. It will open your eyes to the wonders God has to offer you in a way you never thought possible. Al and Joyce Kessel, Tales from the Mouse House Disneyland podcast.
I really kind of had to grow up a lot earlier and a lot faster than a lot of kids. You know, I was concerned with making sure that everybody was taken care of. I didn't really get to be a kid, so to speak. Once I finally got to be a little bit older, I was able to come to Disneyland on my own with my best friend, with other friends, and this kind of became the place that I could recapture my childhood, which I think is what a lot of people get at Disneyland. But at the same time, I was going to Bible college. I would come here to study for finals. It was just kind of a retreat and an escape for me. So I got spiritual truth and application at the same time as I was getting this immersive experience at Disneyland. You know, I would come weekly for a couple of years, and it just became a part of who I was and what I did. So then, those two things kind of began to kind of meld themselves together in my head. And several years later, honestly, I started to recognize the spiritual truths that one could draw out of each attraction. Not that they were built into there, but the fact that they are there and that they could be drawn out of it. God can use things that weren't necessarily intended for a spiritual purpose to still be something that He can use to draw us to Him. And so that's what this whole place became to me. Everywhere here became one truth after another. And I knew that I had to take that information, I had to take those connections and share them with people, because there's going to be so many that had that same kind of experience in one way or another and would have that hook for those lessons. So that's where I got my love for Disney, and it's where this came from. So the fountain behind me here is unofficially called the Transitions Fountain, and this whole area, in fact, is called the Transitions Plaza. And so this is the place. This spot kind of marks during Walt Disney and after Walt Disney. The last one, in fact, that he had major hands-on contact with almost all the way through completion was Pirates of the Caribbean. And in fact, that's why the Haunted Mansion seems to kind of have a couple different storylines. And in fact, it's in some ways almost like an altar. It's the same kind of thing that the Israelites had back when they would go someplace and they would defeat an enemy, or God would do something miraculous for them. And then God would tell them, build an altar here, and every time you pass this, tell your children, this is what the Lord has done for you in this place. This is something significant in the history of Disneyland. And so in our lives, one of the things that I really want people to think about is, what have you built in your life? Not necessarily altars that you worship, but those specific reminders of when God has done something important in your life. What have you done to remind yourself of that, so that when times pass and you want to remember it, it starts to get hard, or people want to know your story, you can point to that and say, this is the time God did this for me.
Faith in the Magic Kingdom is a unique gift to Christians who desire to be more childlike in heart, yet deeply immersed in their identity in Christ. It's biblical, applicable, and helps you access the presence of God in a simple way. Becky Harmon, CEO, Success, Not Sabotage.
16 million people visited Disneyland last year. Every single one of those people can be benefited from one way or another by this book. And so I want to get it into as many hands as possible, and I need your help to do that. I've got some great rewards that I'm offering. If you just check here along the side of the page, you can see what's there. Everything from thank yous and acknowledgments in the book itself, to even a personalized visit here to the park with me to get your own private visit and walk around for the things that are most important to you in your faith and for the areas that you're most interested in. I mean, do you want to know about Critter Country? I'll tell you about it. You want to know about Tomorrowland? We can spend a couple hours there. I can walk you through every attraction, what its history is, and why it's important to you in your Christian life. How it can help you have a stronger, deeper, more relevant, and more exciting faith. You know, Jesus said that He came to give us life more abundantly. And if you're not living that life, but if you love Disney, then this is the book, this is the place. I'm the person that's going to be able to help you make that connection, make that bridge, that jump from where you are to where you can be, where you need to be. But I need your help in order for me to do that. So please fund my book, fund this project, help me out, and in doing so, let me help you out. The Indiana Jones adventure is one of the best examples of one of the most important character traits that you can possibly have as a Christian. Find out what it is and why you need it in Faith in the Magic Kingdom.